What's up? Welcome back. It's your boy Carcino here, and this is part three of the truth behind the fall of the Cleveland Cavaliers. Now, the season's already underway. Players are hurt. LeBron scoring all these points, playing all these minutes. Draymond said, when we see LeBron playing all those minutes, we just smile because eventually that car is going to run out of gas. And he's already out of gas. And you can see it. He's playing on a half a tank every night. Then comes the crazy win streak they went on when they won like 16 out of 18 games. And everybody said, here come the Cavs. And during that 16 out of 18 games they won came right on the heels of controversy for LeBron. A girl who has a hunting channel, little Caucasian lady, had a message from LeBron James talking about he wanted to teach her how to play basketball and she could teach him how to hunt. Something that you really don't put in the DM on some Instagram unless you really know somebody if you're LeBron James, because this is damaging to your brand. And a lot of people didn't know. He went through a lot of static over this. He went through static over the summer with his mother's significant other. So he had a lot of off the court things to deal with that just wasn't in the public eye. But this was now in the public's eye. So he burnt himself out, pushing himself as he was ticked off, being at home, dealing with that, and now dealing with this situation. Now, here comes the situation where you have Tristan Kardashian is back in the lineup. He's out of shape. He slows the team down. He doesn't play defense. And he's really just a walking six fouls when he's not aggressive on the boards. And it's like you have to tell him to be aggressive on the boards or how to rebound and how to get down there. And he's getting out rebounded by point guards. He's getting out rebounded by forwards, small forwards, and little guys are going in there battling him and getting rebounds. And they don't understand how this is happening. They were almost very excited he didn't show up. Like he was out the lineup. They were very excited when you could say, wow, this guy is out. We don't want to wish injury on nobody, but this gives us a chance to get small and run. And Trent Green was playing and outplaying him in every aspect of the game. So, with this being said, they're moving forward. And now your teams are starting, the younger teams, even though they were winning some games, the games were very close every game. Cleveland was very rarely beating a team soundly. Kevin Love was playing great, getting rebounds, putting up big numbers, and he's having a career season. And yet, every time something goes wrong, they blow up on Kevin Love. They had a Halloween party that LeBron normally throws every Halloween. Anybody remembers this? This is what led to the Tristan Thompson injury. Tristan Thompson got so drunk that night, he fell down in his costume. He was injured. A lot of people don't even notice. He's asleep in the car on top of the Kardashian lady, and they have him on film because people recorded this and put it on social media. She got him passed out. He's laid out there. So instead of keeping himself in playing shape, he's been out drinking all night. He fell down, getting out of the car or trying to get in it. Then in the very next game, he pulls a hamstring and falls down and injures himself. Very next game. So one thing leads to another, but LeBron only cared about his party. Now, here is the things that needed to be said. They had an awards for best costume at the end of it. And here's something that a lot of people don't know that went down. Kevin Love saw that Kyle Korver costume, he felt like Kyle Korver's costume with his family and his wife, that they should have won or at least been in a competition for it. But LeBron basically took care of his friends and they were going to get the awards rather than who really had the best costume. And he's like, man, this guy went through all this makeup and everything. He's like, he really looked like Freddie Krueger. Like man, it's like he deserved that award. Kevin Love brought that up and was like, yeah, well, we're not, it's like their thing. So, but he voted for Cal Corbin costume to win. Not that it meant anything, but it's like those two stuck together while everybody else, the brothers, stuck together. So Kevin Love was once again, it was back to the why they won't take a picture with Kevin Love, and he was like left out the group. It's Kevin No Love. I've been saying it for years, and now today everybody is, yelling those same remarks. But as we keep going, you're gonna see how deep the rabbit hole really goes. There's a game where Kevin Love is playing, and he takes an elbow to the head, and he's still playing hard. They got him playing out of every position that he's normally been taught to play as an individual. They have him taken out of those positions. For the first time in his career, he's been taken out of those positions. And all of a sudden, we have a situation in which Kevin Love is playing well because he's hitting the threes. But once people get up on him and those shots are dropping, and as the minutes and the games go on, and he's getting banged down in the post, he's got to run out on the play the 4 to the 5, and it's going to be wear and tear as he's battling these big guys down there in the paint, getting in position, and he's getting elbowed. He's twisted his ankle, and once he twisted his ankle, he was not really the same, and he came back too soon playing, and he wasn't even 100%. He played on it for a little bit, then he went to the locker room. Ever since then, Kevin Love has not been the same. He's been playing injured. He has not been telling everybody about it. That's why the Toronto game, the team knows Kevin Love is injured or injured himself in the game. He did. LeBron has rolled his ankle twice. It has slowed him. But he was already looking more like 32 than he's ever looked in his life this season because he tried to play himself into shape just like Shaq did. And when you do that, you're more subject to hurt yourself. Now, he did physical training as far as I want my body to look good, but his endurance was not there. And playing a little scrimmage ball in the summer is not going to get you there. You got to do the right things to keep your body in shape. And he kept putting up 1 minute Instagram videos and 1 minute training, and that's not going to get it done. So now, J.R. Smith is struggling halfway through the season. Wade is doing great coming off the bench, but JR, he can't seem to get 10 points in a game. So his confidence is gone. Amon Shumpert was back in the lineup before he got hurt, but he still wasn't getting the ball, so he was forcing shots and he was scoring and doing well. He was competing. He was playing basketball, but he was being pushed to the side because LeBron's really not interested in him being on the team anymore. And that's just the truth. The communication is zero. When he's on the court, it's cool, but when he's off, it's zero. So the team had a meeting back when they were struggling and they felt like, we'll turn this thing around. But JR said, look, I'm just in a funk right now, and he's just in a shell because his confidence is gone. And everybody's talking about him, and he's just shot. But they have no choice but to play him because they need somebody to take up the minutes. You got Shumpert that's out, who's been hurt basically all year. Rose wasn't there. So they started playing Usman in his place, and Usman, whatever, the young guy, he can play, but not to what they like. He takes too many shots and don't look to pass the ball. And when you play like that, you're going to be on the court with LeBron. LeBron don't want you to take that initiative and drive that ball and don't distribute it because he doesn't know where it's going to go. It's going to put him in a position where he's got to exert energy to crash the boards. He don't want to do that. Plus, they don't trust him enough in those situations. So for the good second team, third team, or whatever you want to call it, that's the way to go. Now, everything was fine with Coach Lue and LeBron until they had a meeting that nobody was reported on or anything else that you guys knew about because it happened on the plane. They had a conversation on the plane and they said, we're going to talk about this when we get back home in the meeting. We're going to address this issue that we have. We're going to actually sit down and have an issue and a discussion. There was a situation in which LeBron went after Kevin Love. And when he went after Kevin Love after his injury, it caused more of a split between the two. Here's the thing. JR loves Kevin Love. This is what people don't know. He respects Kevin Love. They're really cool. He really likes Kevin Love. Kyle Korver loves and respects Kevin Love. But he's a company man. He's going to follow whatever LeBron tells him to do. Tristan Thompson has fallen out of grace with LeBron James. They're only related to the fact that they have the same representation. That is the only reason he is still there. His representation told him already that, handle this professionally, but for the first time, they may be looking to move you as the team. And he was like, the team? Oh, you mean 23? And he was like, Tristan, handle this professionally. Just go in, do your job. They have the the agent told him, the public relations guy, the PR, Cleveland Cavaliers PR, came in and spoke, and this was done. Now, LeBron was upset at the fact that he could not sit there and get a trade when Eric Bledsoe went to the Milwaukee Bucks. This led to a problem where he talked to Kobe and said, Eric Bledsoe he's in the division now. How did we not get Eric Bledsoe? You guys said that you guys would be competitive in trying to win this year. And I don't know if this team is going to gel in time. So before the trade deadline, we got to try to make a move, and we definitely need to get Boogie Cousins and Eric Bledsoe. LeBron discussed this with Kobe. Well, not LeBron personally. LeBron's representation discussed this with the general manager. So now that this was discussed with Kobe, Kobe's thing is we won 16 out of 18 games. What more do we need to tweak? And the owner is ticked off at LeBron because LeBron's representation basically blew him off when they wanted to get some confirmation from him and saying, well, LeBron has an emergency thing he has to shoot, an emergency thing for the NBA. They got a game coming up. They want to shoot a little commercial. And come to find out, it wasn't the NBA that wanted to shoot that day. It was actually LeBron doing some internet stuff for his podcast, Undisputed or Uninterrupted or whatever that thing he got. So that show, once again, LeBron was more concerned with that, but it could be the fact that they got their information mixed up, and that's not what LeBron actually said, and they just lost in translation. But the owner felt like LeBron was giving him the hi hat once again, which they really never saw eye to eye. They normally dealt with through communications through third party. Now, Kobe brings LeBron's demands to the owner. And the meeting, there was a lot of finger pointing and saying this person got to do this and this person got to do that. And Isaiah Thomas was on the sidelines as they were blaming Calderon. They were blaming a lot of people for not being where they were supposed to be. And nobody said anything about LeBron. Not one person spoke up. And they could see on the film, and they see it, and it shows where LeBron is taking plays off. So if he's taking plays off, it's not going to fare well for the rest of the team. If LeBron is out here slipping plays and nobody's pointing the finger. So Ty Lue has a policy that if you want to meet one-on-one in his office, say whatever you want, yell, scream, you can do that. He gives everybody that same option, and he tells the players, look, if you want to meet one-on-one and you don't want it to be in here or whatever, everybody's free to come in my office, and it stays right there in the office. You could yell, you could throw a chair, you could throw everything. He tells all the players this, you can meet with me individually. And, any type of discrepancy, meet me in the room. Now, LeBron and Crowder wasn't really, everybody thought they weren't seeing eye to eye. Let me tell you what right now. LeBron and Crowder had no problem. They had no problem. The only problem is it wasn't gelling. Crowder couldn't play with the style of play LeBron plays with because LeBron was not, he wants him to just stand absolutely still. And then when he catches the ball, he's just got to pop right away. And sometimes he's not open. He's not that kind of player. He needs to get the ball in a rhythm just like LeBron likes to get it. And LeBron didn't know how to work with giving, Crowder or Clam Chowder, whatever you want to call him, giving him that opportunity to make that shot. So once this happened, you had a situation in which he was getting better. He was working, trying to get better. It's just shots just weren't going in, but he was putting in the work. He was in there battling, trying to do what he can do. Jeff Green and the second unit was holding themselves accountable, and it was clear Dwayne Wade wasn't what he used to be, and he was okay with that. He knew other ways to contribute because he's an all-around basketball player. Now, when it came down to all these other issues that they had internally. It's reported by me, Kevin Love went into the office to talk to Ty Lue, and he had questions about why LeBron clearly wasn't being pointed out on some of the things he was doing. And it's like, I don't know if that's the rule or whatever, but it seems like if that's my role, I'll take it. That's what Kevin Love's like. If anybody needs somebody to yell at, and I got to be that guy, then if that's my role, then if it's gonna help us win and get back to the finals, I'm willing to do that. But there's clearly, obviously, we just had a meeting where everybody was blamed, but the guy who had 8 turnovers, the guy who had all of these things going wrong, nobody said anything about. Like nobody, we did not look at one thing LeBron James did wrong in the film room. How is that going to help the team if we're not going to hold each and everybody accountable, which we keep saying we're going to do, but he can't be held accountable. So Ty Lue said, "Well, we normally talk in private, but as a unit, we probably will do that eventually." Now, this has all been reported that that's all. It's all hearsay. What happened in that room when Kevin Love walked in there and talked to Ty Lue. So they talked to LeBron and said, "We want to try something different. We want to try swinging the ball around because they started to lose games. And after Christmas, the Golden State game, the wheels started to fall off. As Golden State just exploited how bad they really were. And all the good teams have been beating them. And they're struggling with teams that they're supposed to dominate. Now they run into a wall, a really big wall, devastating wall after the Golden State loss. Now it's being put to the test because LeBron is very upset with Kevin Love's effort. They're in Toronto, and Kevin Love was just not in the mood. He's playing hurt. He's coming back off the injury that he got hurt on. And, guys are blowing by him. He can't really put too much weight on the ankle. He's playing hurt, and he's trying to give you everything he got. And LeBron's just chewing him out on the sidelines. He's going after the coaches who were sticking up for Kevin Love, the assistant coaches, because they love Kevin Love. This guy comes in, he does his job, he works hard every day, and LeBron's like, I'm not doing it to come down on him. I want him to get better, and I think he's taking plays off now. And we can't have that kind of defensive lapse on the court. This is bad. And, the assistant coaches decided they were going to hold LeBron James accountable and tell LeBron what he was doing wrong. And that could not stand. So in the post game, Ty Lue, who says he didn't see it and didn't know what was going on, he was at a coaches meeting, for the first time ever said, we need to get rid of personal agendas. And once he said personal agendas, him and LeBron James' relationship was done. It was over. LeBron's like, I brought you in here to keep the other guys in line. Now you're trying to be a coach and you're coming at me and you're trying to tell me we're gonna have a meeting. So they had a good yelling in the locker room. People yelled, got things out. They got on the plane and they were gonna have a meeting in Cleveland. When they got home, in this meeting, LeBron James was singled out for the very first time. They went to the film and they didn't show Kevin Love. They started with LeBron James. They showed LeBron everything he was doing wrong. We got to swing this ball here. And they did it in front of the entire team. And guys was like, finally, saying it under their breath. As Ty Lue and the rest of the coaches were going in on LeBron James, not like he was the superstar player of the NBA. They were treating him as a player of the Cleveland Cavaliers who was not playing well or was making mistakes, and they wanted him to get better. This cannot stand. You cannot undermine LeBron James. And D Wade, who came over there, tried to talk to LeBron after practice was over and was like, let me talk to you, LJ. LeBron got up, like, okay, okay, yep, I'll do better. Yep, I could be better. All right, yep, you're right, I could be better. And when he walked out, I do everything anyway. Might as well do some more. So, very negative attitude when it comes to leadership. Don't have it. So, Wade's trying to talk to him and saying, like, this was necessary. For the team to get big, get better, they need to see that you get it just as much as everybody else get it. They need to see that. They can't just see, and he's trying to say this is what Ty Lue's trying to do. He ain't against you, Bron. And Bron wasn't hearing it. So they played their next game. He came out the first half using the strategy that Coach Lue was doing. They were moving the ball. And you know what? It was working. They were doing 3, 4 passes before somebody shoot. Guys was hitting the lanes, and it was working. And then LeBron decided, you know what? This game is going really good. You know what I could do? I should go ahead and do my own thing. Now I can get back to dribble, pass, shoot. 4 out. Let's go. Then came the turnovers. Then came all the collapses on defense. Other teams are getting in transition. They're fouling because they got guys out of position. And Isaiah Thomas is back now. And he became the guy that's out of shape, who has to play himself into shape. And LeBron was very happy to have him back because Isaiah they were playing too slow, and he don't like Calderon the way he plays on the court. He plays the game like Chris Paul would play it, slow. So I'm like, Chris plays slow. Why in the world you have a problem with Calderon? I guess that's hence why Chris Paul isn't on the team. But he plays a slow game. And LeBron wants to get up and down the court. We got to be like Golden State. They get up and down the court. And that's how you get teams off balance. So they want to play that game. And the situation is getting dire. And the reason it's getting dire is because you have players that are not selling out to be great or good or for the betterment of the team. When everybody's playing as individuals and they really don't like each other, you have a problem. And Isaiah Thomas and J.R. Smith don't get along. They're not cool with each other. He thinks J.R. Smith should not be in the game. Isaiah is, and he's like, I'm better than him, and I'm just coming back. And this guy's been playing healthy all season, and he's killing the team. His stats as a 2 guard is horrible as far as his plus minus. And if he can't keep and contain the guy that's on him, defensively, he's terrible. Now, that's a problem when you're not scoring and the other guy's defensively getting by you. That's a major problem. So right away, people are talking about we need to get this guy, we need to get that guy. But now LeBron has tuned himself out from Coach Lue. And he don't want to talk to him. It's like basically no communication except for on the court. And he's pouting like a kid about what has happened, what has transpired between him and Ty Lue. And ever since he said that personal agendas line and put that in the press where it got to show up in the interviews where LeBron had to say that, LeBron took that as a personal shot by Ty Lue at him. And LeBron's like, I brought you here. You would have never had a starting job as a coach nowhere in the NBA. And I brought you in. And now you done got comfortable in this job enough to think that you can talk down to me. That's not your job. Now you got to go. So LeBron's people get word to Brian Warthog that works for ESPN, who follows LeBron around, sniffing around his shoes. He tell everybody about Coach Lue and how Coach Lue might be, I don't know if he should be fired. I don't know what's gonna happen. Whenever you say stuff like that, you're basically putting the word out that Ty Lue should be moved. How long does Coach Ty Lue have? Now those words are being echoed, and the questions are coming towards LeBron because he put that narrative out there. Then he puts the narrative out there about, oh, LeBron, this might cause LeBron to leave because the Cavs won't give him what he wants. The owner won't give him the players. And he's trying to finesse the public and getting ready, getting them warmed up and buttered up and greased up for when he leaves. He's going to blame that the Cavaliers didn't go out and get the players he wanted or needed to win and compete. And if the Cavs would have done that, he would have stayed. But they didn't show the commitment. So that's why he's not going to commit. But there's no way, as Kobe said to LeBron's team, like, we are not going to trade away the pick. We're not happy with trading a pick for another player. Player for player, yes. But here's what the Los Angeles Clippers want. They want that draft pick. They want Kevin Love. And then they'll take Tristan Thompson. They could work with that. But they wanted Kevin Love. And that wasn't a problem. Before it was a problem. Now it's not a problem to move Kevin Love. Here's the problem that they have now on the table. The Clippers want that draft pick no matter what. And when they keep taking the draft pick out of the equation, they're not interested. So they tried to go for Cousins, and it's become harder and harder to get Cousins as the Pelicans are starting to gel and they're moving up. It would make less sense for your fans to get rid of Boogie Cousins at this point when you guys are sixth, five, almost fifth place in the conference you're in. The two big guy system is working. So they can play inside out. The pick and pop basketball team that they are, you got guys getting 40 and 15 two nights and another guy that's getting 40 and 25. Both guys could play the same game where they thought they were getting in each other's way. It's actually helped the team. They found a way to make it work, and they're winning games. So why would you break this up? Now that this has been said, Ty Lue has been very like whatever about everything. Isaiah Thomas, and he's not used to this, is saying a little bit too much in the press, and they tried to tell him, like, look, LeBron, and they really don't like you putting a lot of this information out about how you guys don't practice. I've been telling you guys for years the Cleveland Cavaliers don't practice because I know they don't. So LeBron James and them, they were going to have a practice because Isaiah Thomas was screaming about it so much, they were going to have a practice. LeBron did not come to practice with them and run with them. Why? Because he said he practiced at home. And they had uninterrupted to film. So he missed practice with the team. He came in the gym, but they didn't run. He did his shoot arounds, but he did not run a full practice with the team. Now, Isaiah did what he did. They had a practice so that Isaiah can get some reps in and try to get his legs back. And Isaiah just like, look, I'm not saying this as a distract. I'm trying to get better. I want to win, and I don't know how we're gonna win. And we got J.R. Smith in the game. It just don't make sense. Why is he playing? So now it comes into another cycle where you have these two guys butting heads all of the time, and Kevin Love's unhappy, LeBron's unhappy, D Wade's just like, man, we just got to get out of this funk. But even him, he's basically making suggestions that people got to stop taking things personally, like it's for the betterment of the team. And LeBron was taking things very personal against Ty Lue and not taking it, critically. Because they went and had another meeting just yesterday, and things blew up considerably. Because now they're doubting Kevin Love being sick, and that's terrible when you don't keep that in house. That means they're getting ready to move you, and this is how they do it. Kevin Love, who's having a career year, deserves so much respect than what this team has shown. You ask this guy to do everything on the team that he can, and he's out there doing it as much as he can. You're getting no production basically from Kyle Korver, who's not really lighting it up and being fourth Korver anymore. He's basically in there and showed you he can't do anything once guys press him and run him off the 3-point line. You run Kyle Korver off the 3-point line and make him have to think about the shot, the ball doesn't go in. And he resorts to being a 7-point, 8-point basketball player. So you've got nothing out of him really. And he's resorted back to being the Kyle Korver he was in Atlanta. And that's just it. When the playoffs start, he will disappear. Against poor teams, Kyle Korver will get 20-something points from hitting 4 or 5 threes because they don't know how to guard him. But when you play winning teams, they have scout. They know who does what on your team. And as LeBron said, we're not playoff ready. They're not regular season ready. They're nothing. They're not even ready for whoever they play. Now, they're playing the Spurs, who are not playing very well. They're playing okay, but they're having personnel problems. They're up in age. They're like the second oldest team in the league. Let's see how well they play against each other now. As we go down this roller coaster ride that everyone else is on, let's see what actually transpires here now with this Cavs. Let's see what happens. I'm willing to bet the farm that the Cavs really go dead smack into the wall. It's over. I don't see them coming out of this. A trade is not going to save them. They have problems on in every aspect of the game. They have been getting calls from the referee. They have been getting everything around the board, and nothing, and I mean nothing, is going to save them. So when you guys let me know what you think, I'll make my decision again and reevaluate the team when they make a trade. I think they will get Jordan. They want to get Lou Williams in the deal. Lou Williams is a great basketball player. But for what Cleveland is running, I don't think the Clippers will give him up, and they shouldn't. You know, Cleveland got to learn you can't just dump your scraps of what you don't want on other people's team, and they're just supposed to take it because it's all about making you better. No, you got to give them something that they would need or want to work with. That's how a trade works.